What is going on, everybody? And I have a quick New York Giants roster update for the Giants today. The Giants made a couple of transactional moves on their roster, including a new player that has been brought to the team, an old player that was part of the team last year that has been brought back, and a young tight end that has been released off the practice squad, including in these transactional moves, a Giants player who was elevated from the practice squad a couple of times, now being part of the Giants roster. So, just to go over the New York Giants roster moves that they made this afternoon/evening, the New York Giants have officially signed wide receiver Marcus Johnson, whom they've elevated from the practice squad for the past couple of weeks against the Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens. They've elevated him from the practice squad. He is now signed to the active roster for the New York Giants going forward, since the Giants had a couple of roster spots open because of the fact that they had to place DJ Davidson and Tony Jefferson on season-ending IR. So the Giants had a couple of roster spots open. They've used one of them on wide receiver Marcus Johnson, officially signing him to the roster, which was well-deserved because Marcus Johnson has been a nice, pleasant surprise. He's actually had some of the most snaps for the Giants out there on offense, along with Darius Slayton, as well as Wan'Dale Robinson, who just came back this past weekend against the Ravens. So Marcus Johnson has officially been signed to the roster. And in the other corresponding moves, the New York Giants have made some alterations to their practice squad. Today, the New York Giants have signed veteran offensive tackle Korey Cunningham, who was part of the New York Giants roster previously with the Giants the past couple of years. Korey Cunningham, he was obviously played with the Jets to first start out, and then Lawrence Cager was part of that tight end rotation over there with the Jets during the offseason, but he got released due to a numbers game because of the fact the Jets had a lot of depth over there at that tight end position, with the fact they had Ruckert, as well as they signed Uzama, and as well as Conklin in the offseason. So it was a numbers game for Lawrence Cager. But Cager doesn't have to go far. He has to go right from the Jets over to the Giants. And a corresponding move for the New York Giants, they've released tight end Austin Allen, the former Nebraska Cornhusker, off the New York Giants practice squad. So they pretty much went tight end for tight end. Johnson right now, 6'1", 204 pounds for the New York Giants. He's caught 5 passes for 60 yards in the past couple of games for the New York Giants. He hasn't had a lot of play. He hasn't gone out there and caught a whole lot of passes, but the one thing that Marcus Johnson right now is doing is he's making timely catches when it's needed. He's been getting a lot of snaps. He's blocking on the outside, opening up some holes for the New York Giants running backs as well as for Daniel Jones, and opening up plays for his teammates. So Marcus Johnson right now, he's not getting a whole lot of offensive play, but he is doing his job for a reserve wide receiver, and it was an ideal promotion. As right now in his career, Johnson has played on 4 different teams besides the Giants. He was part of the 49ers, the Eagles, the Titans, and the Colts. And he has right now a career average of 56 receptions, 899 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his career, including a 19.6 yard per average and 11 kickoff returns in his career. Cunningham, he was part of the New York Giants back in 2020 and 2021. He was released by the New York Giants on a non-related football injury on July 22nd. And in 2021, he played in 12 games as a reserve lineman for the New York Giants back last year, including 113 snaps on offensive line and 34 snaps on special teams. And he had a season-high 67 snaps, as we all remember, when he played against the Philadelphia Eagles last year because of the fact that Matt Peart suffered that season-ending torn ACL. And Cunningham has also played for the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots. Now, in terms of Cager, he was released by the New York Jets. Actually, he was released this past Saturday. 6'5", 220-pound, former wide receiver from the Miami Hurricanes, played in the NFL for a couple of years. He's pretty much an undrafted free agent in 2020 that was signed by the Jets. And in that season in 2020, he played in 2 games with 1 start overall, including 2 career receptions where he had 35 yards total. And he also played in 1 game overall for the Cleveland Browns in 2021 before he was signed back to the New York Jets. Cager played 3 years in Miami, and he also played for 3 years in Miami from 2017 to 2016, 2018, and then 2019 he transferred over to Georgia. So obviously he knows a lot of these Giants teammates on the New York Giants, playing with them back in Georgia. Obviously knowing Tay Crowder, Solomon McKinley, who's on the practice squad, Azeez Ojulari, and Andrew Thomas. So obviously there's a familiarity there for Lawrence Cager. And in corresponding move, of course, Austin Allen, who a lot of Giants fans actually liked because he had size, 6'8", about 220 plus pounds, 230, 40 plus pounds, but he obviously was a guy that just couldn't get it done on the practice squad. The Giants obviously feel comfortable with the guys they have, so they're going to take a chance on a guy like Lawrence Cager. And good luck to Austin Allen. Who knows? Maybe he gets signed back to the practice squad in the future. But the Giants, I guess, want to like what they see in a guy like Lawrence Cager on the practice squad and might want to try to develop him going through this season. So that's your New York Giants update. Giant roster update for the Giants today, as they have signed wide receiver Marcus Johnson to the active roster officially after they had a couple of roster spots open due to the fact they placed DJ Davidson and they placed Tony Jefferson on season-ending injured reserve. They also signed tight end Lawrence Cager and offensive lineman Korey Cunningham to the practice squad, and in turn, they've also released tight end Austin Allen off the practice squad. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news updates and chatter and roster updates surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the Giants. And let me know in the comments section what you think about these procedural moves the Giants have made today, including signing wide receiver Marcus Johnson to the active roster. If it's a good move, if you approve of it, I think he deserves it. I definitely believe he deserves it. And, of course, the practice squad continuing to rotate all over the place with the fact that we signed Lawrence Cager and Korey Cunningham back to the practice squad, and we released Austin Allen. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Take it easy, and always remember, let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.